Do it.
Welcome to the Lunchtime Sessions, episode 1. We need to talk about Will. Don, I missed the Oscars last night. What is up? What is everybody talking about?
Okay, so in an episode straight from the Boondocks, the Oscars last night, Chris Rock is doing a joke. He's doing a little joke about Will's wife having alopecia. And this is his wife who, has had multiple entanglements with other men. And that's fine. And Will's laughing, everyone's enjoying it. Until Will looks over at his wife Jade and he said she's not laughing. And at that point, he decides to walk up to Chris. Chris doesn't know what's happened. Chris thinks like Will's coming up on stage to make a little joke or something. He leans forward to kind of put his mic closer to Will. And and then he gets a smack. I'm sure you have do you have a video of it there somewhere? He gets a slap off of Will. You've all seen it at this point. Will turns his hips. He puts everything into it. Chris is about 120 pounds soaking wet. And he stays standing somehow. He stays on his feet. He doesn't even stumble. And he carries on to show like a true professional. And I think that's pretty much a summary of it. Any thoughts, Burgers?
I suppose the main theme here probably, I think, is insecurity, really, isn't it? I mean, you could have just took the joke on the chin and just leave it at that. But I think it kind of boiled up in his head and he's like, oh my God, like, I mean, he probably has in his head that some people still think he's a bit of a joke of a character after the whole entanglement situation. It's obviously insecurity for him and maybe a questioning of his manhood. But I mean, respect to Chris Rock, he dealt with it professionally. I mean, I think the Oscars were very fortunate he was the host because he kind of took it on the chin. He stood his ground and even popped a little joke afterwards. So, I mean, all in all, it didn't end up too badly for how it could have went.
You want to see this clip?
For sure. But
you want to see this clip, boys? Look at this.
That's good. Well, as you were saying, they were lucky Chris is as professional as he is because my mom was entitled to brawl after that.
Can you see that full screen?
Yeah.
So here is Chris. He's doing his bit. He's looking a bit grey-haired for the last time I saw him. And damn.
Boom.
Now, he's kind of proud of himself a little bit.
Because he's expecting a standing ovation. I don't know what Will's expecting to happen here. Like, he's expecting people to enjoy that. I think people laughed at Chris's joke after. He's expecting people to stand up maybe and give him a clap. You defend your wife, like.
Yeah.
I think.
It looked like it was staged until Will's in his feelings right now. Will is, oh my goodness, no free clout. Get them out of here.
Until
a smile on his face as well, though, which was crazy because it did look completely staged. He's a big smile on his face walking up, and Chris is probably thinking, oh, he's probably going to have a little joke here or just a little mess around and then fall back and have a laugh with it. But I mean, the slap just stunned the room, like. But it really wasn't until he goes, get my wife's name out of your mouth. That was when everybody was like, right, this isn't a joke. Like, the fuck, how do we react to this? You know?
Dustin Poirier is taking notes.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier somewhere is wondering, why didn't he think of this?
In terms of which, though? In terms of what? Like, why is Dustin Poirier? What's Dustin Poirier writing down his notepad right now?
Because Dustin Poirier's wife, Jolie Poirier, was in McGregor's DMs, and McGregor let everybody know on the grandest stage of all. And Dustin taking notes. Dustin, as the only man in the octagon, as the only fighter in the octagon who was able to stand up at that time, should have grabbed the mic, walked over to Conor, and said, "Get my wife's name out your mouth."
Yeah,
for
sure. Yeah, that could be one way. What was funny as well, there was an apology after, and Will got up on stage and won the award, and he was just saying to the audience how love makes you do crazy things, and I was just thinking, maybe George Masvidal could have used that when George Masvidal dressed up and went to attack Colby Covington, at the Miami Steakhouse. He could have said, love makes you do crazy things.
Yeah, I think Masvidal very much so is on the hate makes you do crazy things vibe right now.
Yeah, but could we get a replay of that clip actually?
We can, man. I was really hoping that you would break it down from an MMA standpoint. An MMA podcast apart.
I mean, it was very, very quick. Could you put that in maybe 0.25 speed?
0.25?
Yeah.
It's a long clip at 0.25. Let's get a little bit closer and we'll roll back the speed. Once Will starts his descent into madness, the King Lear strut.
Burgers.
There's something we don't see here. There's something we don't see here. While Chris is now talking between Will and Jada, that has spurred him to walk up. Oh shit! It's the Billy Strut. Damn, I got caught lacking there. My young Jamie skills aren't where they used to be. So let's hit that back at a. Let's go for a 0.5. Do you want the full 0.25?
I think 0.25, man. I want to see.
Here we go.
You've more friends than us as well. So maybe
this is the only real MMA breakdown of
this clip. So he's walking very slowly.
Leans into it. He baits the shot.
Just pause that right there. Just pause that right there. So he's walking up non-aggressively. His hands aren't up top. He's not giving the, you can't get close. He is simply just walking. He is strolling like he's out in Phoenix Park, on a nice warm day. He's just simply going about his business, walking to Chris Rock. So Chris Rock is standing there like George Masvidal before he knees Ben Askren. We all know that the hands behind the back stance is simply not a combat stance at all. Like, that's not a man expecting any physical confrontation whatsoever. He's not expecting a push. Never mind a slap or a punch.
Is there an argument to be made that Herb Dean should have stopped this fight if Chris Rock wasn't intelligently defending himself? I don't know, man. I'm smelling cigarettes and whiskey off Herb Dean's breath right now.
From this angle, you can't really see it, but there's a weight discrepancy there. Chris Rock is, I'm not saying he's small, but he's definitely not a big man. And Will might have a couple of inches, and I'd say 50 pounds on him. Would that be fair?
I'd say that's accurate. He's at least 6'3", 6'4", Will, and I think Chris Rock's probably 5'11" or something. I don't think he's hitting 6 foot.
And he's a filled out 6'3" at that, like. So
the leverage on the slap, like, there's some power behind that from a big guy like Will Smith. Like,
let's see it, boys. Let's see it. Let's let that roll through. And Don, maybe you could talk us through from an MMA standpoint what we're seeing here.
Look at this. And then boom, he turns the hips. Fair play to him. He gets his left hand up just in case, Rock kind of slips and rolls. I'd like to see an angle of that from the front, but we don't seem to have one.
Will walks off here like he's got a pistol on his whip. Like,
yeah. Look, in fairness, it was a good slap. My only real problem with it is that, Will, if you're going to walk up and slap a man on stage in a full black suit, in a 3-piece suit, make it a pimp slap, Will. Let's see a backhand, But he missed that opportunity. He went for the open palm slap, and Chris just ate that.
Look how quickly Chris recovers from that clean shot, and look how he sees out the end of the round to the point where, Will got the knockdown there, but people are calling this a 10-10 round just based on the way Chris came back and rallied.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, there's a weight class discrepancy, but if Will, if that's his biggest punch, and Chris can just eat them shots like that, would Will actually beat Chris Rock over 3 rounds in the cage? I don't see there's any evidence there to say that he would. I mean, before now I would have backed Will. After seeing the slap, I think Chris could take him just on chin alone. He could art him. Chris
is scrappy, man. Chris is scrappy.
What are your thoughts?
You don't survive the island of Madagascar for no good reason.
Chris kind of leans back as well, doesn't he? After the slap comes, he's leaning back. So I mean, if there's another one thrown, maybe he's got that understanding of range. Slip back and then he'll hit him with one himself. Like, it's interesting. Like, he takes the first one on the chin, no problem, leans back. So you mean he's in the game? He's ready to go. Like, I think if Will throws another hand and doesn't turn away, who knows what happens? Like,
what are you thinking there? Check left hook.
Is there potentially another video we could pull up, and just because look, there was a couple of angles on this. Look, it might have been the best, the most cameraed fight in Oscar's history. So I'm sure there's a couple. Like, there might be a front angle. There's definitely one from behind.
Listen, on Reddit, you've got angles from everywhere. You've got a hidden camera in Chris Rock's shorts, but on YouTube, it's not that easy to find because The Guardian posts a video and everyone else posts the same damn video. But
that's tough.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, some black on black crime.
Career, like, in one night, like wins the best actor award and also makes an absolute games of himself. Like, Top to
It's
bottom. Crazy shit.
It's crazy though that the Oscars just allowed that. The Oscars said, that's fine. You can just go back and sit back in your seat. Chris will be okay. Like, why
There's
wasn't
no
the man
contingency
escorted out of
plan.
the building?
How do you? What do we do though? Do you know what I mean? I think everybody's just so stunned, and there's obviously no plan. I mean, who thinks there's going to be a brawl at the Oscars? Like, it's probably traditionally one of the most respected ceremonies in America, like in the world. You just don't expect that. Like, that's just it's insane, really. Like,
Yeah, maybe that was it. There wasn't a plan place, but also at some point, the man after punching someone, except for assaulting someone, should he not be escorted out of the building? Like, why is he allowed to go up and just receive his award? A couple of moments later.
Well, listen, man, I think a lot of that is on Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock took his shot like a man, or a woman. Chris Rock took a shot, and man and women can both take a good shot. But Chris Rock took a shot and he didn't complain. He didn't press charges. But in the moment, he obviously didn't storm backstage and say, get that man out of there, which he would have been totally within his rights to do. So I think a lot of credit goes to Chris Rock here. I think if you don't have a comedian in that situation, if you have another actor at that stage, or, James Franco back when he was presenting the Oscars, I don't think that goes as smoothly. But I think Chris Rock has been in the trenches. I think he has seen a level of debauchery that we could only imagine. And I think that's probably barely ranks on the level of disturbances Chris Rock has had during his performances, if rumors about the comedy score are to be believed.
But I don't know, maybe that's not the best way to take it sometimes. Maybe you go down, you stay down for a minute or two, and then you say, you know what, Will, 20 million would be nice right about now. Get me back on my feet. Yeah, he kind of just brushed it off. As you were saying. What do you think, Burgers? Do you think the move is to take it like a man, or take it like a man who's about to claim?
Yeah, well, I suppose, I mean, the real question there, I think Chris Rock needs to look at the bank balance and see, look, do I need this money, or am I in a position to just be, take it on the chin and be the bigger man here? But yeah, I mean, Will Smith surely got some money in the bank, even from the Fresh Prince days and all the stuff he's been in. Like, I mean, that guy's definitely got serious bankroll somewhere. So maybe get a little out of court settlement or something, or say, look, Will, you don't pop me over some cash. Maybe this goes some further. It's all documented. It's an easy win for Chris Rock if he wants to go that route.
Maybe
There's
Chris
certainly
Rock
will not be a
says,
lack of witnesses. Yeah. But,
maybe Chris Rock says, you slide some of that cash into my Revolut, or I might just end up in an entanglement.
Yeah, but what was funny was, if that same joke is made about Will, Jada's getting a good laugh. Jada's not going up and slapping anybody. She's enjoying it. So it's kind of, Will is simping to the highest of levels, I think.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that dynamic, Don. What is it that makes you believe Jada may be laughing at Will? Is there something there? There's something to that?
Man, look how that relationship's been. Like, look at the history of that. I mean, we've all heard about all the entanglements, all of the cheating, all this, that, and the other, and you just don't get the same sense that, like, Jay's going to be stepping in to protect her man. But I don't know. Maybe that was it too. Maybe it just got to Will. The man's been having jokes about for the past 2 years non-stop. I heard Custer say one day, look what happened to Will. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's feeling sorry for Will. And maybe it just got to the point where he felt he had to slap someone. And Chris Rock just happened to be that guy. Maybe
it's a fight for respect from Jada or something as well. You know what I mean? I mean, Will's probably, I do reckon he's surely there's so many other women in the world that Will Smith can get with. I mean, he obviously does properly love that woman, and maybe it's a fight for respect with her. I mean, she gives him the stink eye. That's what sets it all off. So maybe he's like, oh, if I go and do something about this, I'm proving my worth to her. Is it some sort of weird subconscious thing like that? I mean, he's fighting a losing battle. It feels like he's flogging a dead horse. I mean, you're not getting your respect back from doing something like that to Chris Rock, who yeah, it's a poor joke, but I mean, it doesn't warrant anything like that. Like,
yeah, at the same time, Dara, as much as it's a poor joke, it's no worse than anything Ricky Gervais has been saying.
Not even nearly.
For a number of events. And it makes you think, if Will just sits there and takes that, nobody even hears about this morning. The only news story is that Will Smith has won his first Oscar for Best Actor, and he comes out as a king. And now somehow he comes out looking even more cooked than before. So It's tough, man. He's really played a great hand to the worst possible level. But you could just see in that moment that man broke. As you say, the internet has been laughing at him for too long. And you know, he can read the memes, he can see the headlines before he even does anything now. He knows that the whole internet's gonna say Tupac would have got up there and shot Chris Rock. And that's why Jada will never really feel the same way about him as she does about Pac.
Yeah. Is there, I don't know, does anybody have, you know, Chris Rock or Will Smith in their DMs? Because I could really do with sending Will a couple of Hoodville links right about now. Just send him some posts, you know, just get him thinking in that way.
Back to the real mind.
Yeah. Because right now he is much more down bad patrol than he is City Boys up. That's a fact.
And that's a shame for the Fresh Prince. Like,
has
anybody said the Fresh Simp before?
The Fresh Simp of Bel Air.
That's what the boy is right now.
The Fresh Cook of Bel Air.
The Fresh Simp of the Oscars.
Listen,
no, but it's right to be said for the Oscars. You know, these people have such egos to think they can go up and slap someone. Why do these actors even need awards? It's right to be said for the Oscars grand opening, grand closing, or is that crazy talk?
Listen, I think you could be right, man. I think that could be the move going forward. I think it's time to take these people down off a pedestal and give the No Knowledge podcast some time to shine. Maybe we should replace this with the annual podcast awards and see just how many more views we can get on a YouTube live stream. But yeah,
that's an excellent idea, man. We may do that. We have to do that.
Yeah, for real.
Lunchtime awards.
So yeah, man, this is the Lunchtime podcast series, and we like to keep it brief. So, can I get an analogy? Can I get something that wraps this up with a nice little MMA bow? You know, does Chris Rock need to go train with Trevor Whitman for a while? Does Will Smith head to TriStar?
Look, man, I think at this point, Chris is definitely showing more physical attributes in terms of MMA than Will has. Will got an open shot. He didn't do much with it. Chris got hit by a much bigger man. Hands behind his back, didn't expect it. The man's, you know, if the man was 20 years younger, I'd get him into an MMA gym because he took that shot like Max Holloway. How does that fight go? You know, a well-trained 25-year-old Chris Rock versus Max Holloway. I think that's a fight for the ages. Will Smith's getting clapped by Tai Tuivasa, no problem. So those are my thoughts. Those are my closing thoughts.
So Chris Rock is Netflix and Will Smith is Blockbuster. That's all I'm taking from that.
1000%.
Dara?
Man, I don't know. I think maybe some words of wisdom from the jail swimming school. I mean, first of all, there's I can't let you get close, but then also, I suppose, you know, maybe make a few jokes about, you know, his Jada being the only woman he knows who made a living from using her mouth, you know, things along those lines, you know.
Yes, man.
I think he needs a bit more brazenness in his life. He needs a bit more Hoodville and shit, man. Just get in the right mind frame. Work on it, Will, man.
Yeah.
Listen, it sounds like Dara is about to red pill, blue pill, Will Smith. Dara's going to drag him down into the depths of his internet search history and teach him a thing or two about women and life in general. So, I look forward to seeing Will's dramatic fall off in future. Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing. I know we're wrapping this up, but is this Will's last appearance at the Oscars? Is Will, does he survive this one?
Does he get a big role again?
I think so, boys. I think Chris handled this in the best possible way for Will. I think Chris above all, he put the fact that, you know, he put the common struggle above all and said, you know, Will's down bad right now, but we've all been down bad from time to time, and that's a brother at the end of the day, and you got to look out for your boys. And so, yeah, I think we can reasonably blow this one off. I think in a couple of months this is forgotten about, and it just becomes one of the increasingly long line of things people are feeling sorry for Will Smith about.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's a good take.
Listen,
I don't think
that's all we've got time for, folks.
Yeah.
Can I get some Looney Tunes graphics?
Look, ultimately, yeah. Look, best of luck to Will in his future endeavours, and it's not a good look for him, and something he shouldn't have done. And all respect to Chris Rock for handling it like a gentleman, and respect to Chris Rock's granite chin. And yeah, look, no respect to the Oscars because ultimately it's been a shambles and it's still a shambles. So those are my thoughts.
Dara has learned little about the power of threes. So that's all, folks.